All right.
There we go.
There it is.
Awesome.
Hey. Good to see you.
Oh, shoot.
Good to see
Sorry, I
ya.
made you smaller. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Brent. We have everybody here. You can't see everybody in the room, but there's a bunch of people here in the room. And just want to introduce Brent to everybody. Brent, are you like the top person, like top recruiter at EXP?
I'm just a guy at EXP, man. I don't know, man, but I'm working hard like all of us. So
He's being very modest. He's like one of the 2 top recruiters at EXP. Has built.
I think my rev share check's the highest by about 100,000 a month. So if that makes you happy, there you go.
And what year did you come over, Brent?
I came over in 1908. I was on the Mayflower. Christopher Columbus is my best friend. It might have been a little before 1908, but hey, I've been over for about 6 years. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Mhm.
we would love it if you kind of shared your story with everybody, how you got into real estate. I know some of us have heard the story, but many people in the room haven't. So just your story of how you've gotten into real estate and how you built the organization that you built.
Awesome. Let's rock and roll and do it. Then as I recall, we're going to open it up for like 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A, which having done a bunch of these, it's super important that you guys just don't think, oh, my question's stupid. It's not. It generates other questions. And then, it helps you really get a clear understanding of what you need to do to make it. So, all right, here we go. So let's see. I got in real estate when I was 30. I'm 57. I'll be 58 in a little while here. But, my first 6 months, I sold 3 homes. I was super part-time and I was embarrassed that I'd failed in another business. And so nothing against real estate, but I would kind of sneak off and do real estate on the side. And I felt like a failure. I had gone bankrupt the year before from that business failure. So my Remax business card said, call Brent. I wouldn't even put my last name on the card. So that kind of shows you, I mean, I've never, ever seen anybody that stupid to not, oh, Bob, Century 21, what in total, I can't even believe that my ego was so wounded that I won't put my last name on the card. And then I get a listing. It was called Brent. No last name on the, I cannot believe I did this. But I was like, how have I failed? I got to do real estate. And I wasn't embarrassed of real estate. I was embarrassed that I failed in another industry. And I didn't want people to know that I'd failed. And so I guess my ego was big or something. And I sold 3 homes in 6 months with that kind of an attitude. Then finally, after 6 months, I'm like, my family's starving. I went to my broker and I said, I literally was living at my brother's house at 30 with a wife and 2 small children. I'm like, wow, you are just really kicking butt now. The funny thing is he lived in a place called El Dorado Hills, which in Sacramento is like Newport Beach, Beverly Hills. It's a really well-regarded area. Like, oh, wow, you've moved to El Dorado Hills. You're doing great. Like, you wouldn't believe it. And so my wife and I and Christina, who was 4, and Dylan, who was 2, one of their kids moved out of about an 8 by 10 bedroom. And we had to get a queen size mattress, something small, then put 2 little Toys R Us beds, one left and one right. We literally stepped on the beds to get in our bed, and a family of 4 lived in an 8 by 10 bedroom. And that's how I started real estate. I didn't have a car. I had to give my car back. And so a friend of mine gave me an old truck, a Silverado truck. And I sold 3 homes in the first 6 months in that kind of a situation. Then I went to my broker and said, man, I'm not succeeding at this. What do I need to do to get my breakthrough? It would have been good if he just said, well, put your last name on your business card in the sign. He didn't tell me that. I don't think he realized I was doing that. And so he said, look, here's what you do. He said, you've got to get people in your car. I'm like, you haven't seen my car. And I go, one side looks great. The other side is like a tire hash through the driver's side door. It looked like Scarface, like Al Pacino or something. He goes, well, hide that side and let him in on the good side. I swear to you, I would park that car with the good side facing where they would walk up. Let me get the door. It was a bench seat. So by me, the missus, and then the mister, and I put my arm around the missus and one hand on the steering wheel, and we're just jamming down the road, and I'm showing property. And I said, but how do I get people in my car? He goes, man, you better figure it out or you're going to starve. He goes, you better figure it out. Quit playing around and get serious. I'm like, well, I better figure this out. And I just willed it. He's, you better will it to happen. And I just started, I go, look, let me just show you a house. Let me just show it to you. Got to see the inside. You can't do this Zillow, Redfin. We didn't have that 26, 27 years ago, but you can't just look at the picture. Let me take you in the house. And you guys you got to overcome. Well, I've seen the virtual tour. I've seen the pictures. Find homes, there are no pictures. And then when they ask you to email to them, say, I can't, I'm out of my office. Like if this was your office, you literally, you go here and when you call them, you walk out the front door and you leave and you say, I'm not in my office. And so don't lie, get the heck out of your office. And I never, ever emailed people properties. If you're emailing people properties, just for me personally, I think you're making a huge mistake. Oh no, I know what I'm doing. Really? Because I would sell 8, 10, 12, 14 homes a month to buyers, never emailing properties. I refuse to email properties because they make a judgment call just like you do on Swipe. Oh, she's no, he's no. People make a quick decision. And so they don't get to see the house. I want to build a report. It's probably not the right house. I don't care. I need to show them property and build some sort of report to them to go, me, your guy. And then I'd have one folded in half that was 30,000 more, 50,000 more, and they go, I hate this home. It's by power lines. I hate this home. It smells like cat urine. I hate this home. It smells like smokers were here. It backs up to the freeway. And you guys, okay, I'll call you next week. I did the same dumb stuff. And I had to go, you know what? I said, I got one more. It's right around the corner here. It's got a 3-car garage, pool, waterfall, palm trees, whatever was cool. And I'd show it to them. I'd literally put my thumb on the price. I'd hold up the picture and they're like, oh my God, it's beautiful. It's 50 grand more. Of course it's beautiful. And I didn't tell them that. I go, it's right around the corner. And I told them, we might be coming by. You want to see it? I go, yeah, right. You're sure. Let's go see it. I showed them, oh, we love it. It's freaking amazing. You know why? Because they've never looked at any homes that were 50,000 higher. They go up to 4, up to 4, up to 4. I'm showing 450, 450, 450. They go up to 7, up to 7. I'm showing 8. I'm showing 775 and 8. And you guys, well, I'm telling you, do it. Do you sell 8, 10, 12, 14 homes a month? I did. Like, well, that's deceptive. You put your finger on the price. No, I didn't. They go, oh my God, we love it. How much is that? I go, that's the best part. I go, it is $449, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to offer way less and we're going to drive that seller down. My goal is to get it down to $399 and we go in at $350. And you think that's insane. Like nobody does that. Yeah, because you got to be talented. You got to call Christine or Casey Smith or Julie DeRochers and go, hey, here's the deal. I got an offer. We close in 14 days. It's as is. We're gonna let your seller stay 2 months rent free. So you guys dick over rent. It's always rent free. Never charge rent. Do you want to collect some rent or do you want your dream home, man? And so you got to tell them we don't collect rent. Everyone else can ask for $1,200 rent, $1,800 rent, $600. Fight over the rent. Not a good idea. And it's always for free. And I always put no security deposit. Buyer trusts the seller. Well, that's irresponsible. Coldwell Banker will tell you it's irresponsible because my parents worked there for 25 years. You need to represent your client. Really? If you ask for security deposit, you are so not representing your client. Oh, what if something goes wrong? Sorry, I didn't ask for security deposit. You did. You lost the house. I call losing the dream house going wrong. A scratch on the door, a nick on the refrigerator, a torn screen, a spot on the carpet that's discovered. What's the security deposit normally anyways? $1,000, $1,500. And as a listing agent who had 18 to 28 listings, I present those offers to people. All things being equal, one asks for a security deposit. And they go, how do we get that back? Well, you have to ask for it back. Ask them. That's weird. Well, so if the buyer doesn't like it, they could just keep it. I go, yeah, well, you could take them to court, sue them in small claims court and go before a judge. I don't want to deal with that. Well, these people over here, they didn't ask for anything. Like this Brent Gove guy, but buyers do not require security deposit from the sellers. Buyers trust the sellers. Oh, you're like, you can't put that in a purchase agreement. I do it all the time. And I type right there, their finance things, buyer trusts the sellers. And I don't type it. You guys use stupid win forms. I print the win forms and then I handwrite, as is the size of a freaking billboard using 3 lines in capital letters, ASIS parentheses. And like, well, every purchase is as is. I present offers to sellers when they see as is jumping off the purchase agreement. They're like, what? As is that? They're all as is. Every sale's as is. Buyers have a chance. Don't get me fired up here. Buyers can ask a seller to fix stuff, right? Right? Seller could say, put it where the sun don't shine. I'm out. Every sale's as is, but you guys aren't getting points for it because you use win forms and it's buried in the California car form where the California Association, where I'm from, it's on like page 13, line 7, article number 48. This sale is as is. Well, we don't have that in our state. Well, you should buy it as is. Do you want BS handyman repairs, 1,500, or do you want the home with the view on the river, on the lake? What is it you want? And you think, well, you talk to your clients like that? Almost. I'm dramatizing a little bit for you so you can like freaking take control. You listen to me. People are looking for leadership. Like, I don't know, sort of mamsy-pamsy. No, listen to me. If you were my brother, I would make you do it. If you were my parents, there's no way in the world that you do anything, but we're doing this. That said, hey, do what you want. But I'm strong. And guess what? I know what it's like to make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year in real estate because people are nervous. They're skittish, especially now with the market high and interest rates. They dart in and out of escrow. And you need to be firm. You need to look at them and say, this house is terrible. Let's go. Call a spade a spade. Don't go, well, yeah, maybe you could fix it. It's a piece of, go, call it. Now, be careful, because one time I said that and the wife loved it and I couldn't back out of that one. I think they changed agents after that. But that was one time. Usually they really appreciate it. I'm not trying to sell them every home. And when I show property, I started with the worst homes first. I look for a terrible $1 million house, a fixer-upper. Hey, you could pick out carpet, you could pick out paint. Why? Because foo-foo did a foo-foo on the carpet. It smells like foo-foo through the house. It smells like cat urine or whatever. And that is the dumbest thing. Like if I get a listing, I make them replace it. Well, the buyer may not like the color. They certainly don't like the pet stench. I go, weird. No. And so you got to be strong. I'm getting a little off topic, but here's the deal. I struggled and then I started getting people in my car and then I started showing property and like, oh my God, we love it. Now what? I didn't know how to write offers. I drag them 30 miles away back to my little broker's office. There were 7 of us and he would write the offer. And I started selling homes. And my first full year after 6 months of failure, I sold a whopping 18 homes. I know that's not impressive, but to go from 3 and 6 months to 18 and 12, and a lot of you would love to have sold 18 homes in the past 12 months. Average commission of 10 grand, it's 180,000, not bad. The next year I sold 28. And during that period, I discovered a company that was doing really well on their open houses. They put out like 30 open house signs and they were like this tall over here and they were this wide. They kind of looked like, I called this picture, is actually called Blue. I'm at my house here in Puerto Rico. I don't know if you can see where is it? All right, what the heck? We got time. Parker, forgive me. I'll just show you. It's a beautiful day here. This is where I live now because of taxes. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not a bad day out here now. If you really want to hear the waves rolling and stuff. So it's terrible here. This is not a backdrop. This is where I get to live. It is awesome. So here's the deal. When you do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, you get to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, etc. So, I have a home in Northern California. I have a home here in Puerto Rico, and it's pretty cool to not pay federal and state income tax and no capital gains. So yeah, I live here and that's Blue. But my open house signs were that tall and there were 30 of them. And I'd have 100 people at my open houses. Open houses don't work. Yeah, they didn't work for me either when I put out 7 Coldwell Banker signs as a Remax agent because my parents worked for Coldwell Banker and I didn't have any open house signs. And I would do Coldwell Banker. Oh, wow. What'd I do? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hit a button and it was a really bad idea. Let's see if I can find you. Okay, hold on. Oh, you're back. The whole thing that I'm not really great with technology. Okay, so I would do Coldwell Banker open houses as a Remax agent and use their signs. They're open. I'd put out 7, and there'd be 3 people coming in 3 hours or 2 people in 4 hours, and it was depressing. And you need barbiturates or depression counseling because it is depressing to do open houses. But when I copied a company doing it at a high level, I would get 50 to 100 people at my open houses, and I started being able to pick and choose my clients. And I think I got to the point where by my 4th year, I sold 48 homes. It was 1999. And I struggled, fought, copied, duplicate, emulate. I looked for signs of success, and I copied people that were doing well. And so long story short, my 4th year, 1999, I made $393,000 in real estate. It was a lot of money back then. It's a lot of money now. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. And I made almost $400,000. And I realized there was so much room to grow. And guess what? I was right. Within 5 years, I was making 4 million. I 10x the 400,000. You know why? I did Zooms like this. I showed up to Brian Buffini. I showed up to Howard Brent and Star Power. I went to NAEA. I went to Craig Proctor in Toronto, 3,000 miles away. I was on a quest, and I started copying the most successful people in the business. I'm not the brightest guy. I'm a C student. I dropped out of college. I went to Chico State, the #1 party school in America in the 80s. And that's exactly why I chose that college, not for their engineering department, not for their sciences and their PhD and that. I go, #1 party school in America, sign me up. And so, and they turned me down. I've never met anyone who's been turned down from the #1 party school. They take everybody. Nope, they did not take me. I applied a second time. They turned me down. The third time they let me in. And then I proved them right and dropped out my junior year. But so here's the deal. I am a person who loves people. And if you hate people, please leave real estate now. This is a people business, and you will meet brokers who hate people. I hate agents. I hate people. And their broker's been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years. And sometimes you meet newer people. That's tragic and sad. You better love people in this business, which I did. And so basically in 1999, I flew to Toronto, and I copied a guy named Craig Proctor, who's the #1 Remax agent in the world. It's really easy to succeed. Find the most successful you can find and copy them. So I copied Craig Proctor. He was selling 600 homes a year. And by 2004 or 5, I sold over 400 homes in a year. Now I had listing specialists, I had buyer specialists, I had multiple full-time employees. I'm not a broker. I was just a Remax agent, just one little agent who had people. I leveraged through staff. I leveraged through showing agents. I leveraged through listing specialists. And I got a database. I did the marketing, and be like, oh my gosh, how big was your team? I had 45 buyer's agents working for me. And back in 2004, and when teams weren't even a thing, huge teams had 8 people. I had 45 because I understood it. It was, you could have 1% of 100 man's efforts and 100% of your own. If you're a solo agent, well, I'm not good at trying a team. I tried it. So what? I mean, you are listen to me. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Just because you tried it once or you tried it twice. I tried sushi twice, didn't like it. The third time I loved it. If I could go anywhere for my birthday, I like to go to sushi. I like sushi. So what that you didn't figure it out? I did radio twice and failed. The third time I succeeded. It's like passion and focus. If you're taking notes, write down this word, struggle. The key to success in life is struggling. And then, we all struggle, you guys. I get it that you're struggling. Okay. And so how I supported my team, it's one of the questions that Parker asked me was, I started doing a sales meeting, a team meeting for 1 hour every week. And I do that even like today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, if you go to goveteammeeting.com, I'll look it up to make sure I didn't give you the wrong. You can all watch my team meeting. It's happening tomorrow. It's been happening every Thursday from 10 to 11 Pacific since 1999. Anybody know the year? It's 2023. Do I have a cadence? Do I have a predictability? Do I show up? Do I live by my calendar, not my emotions? Yes. Here's a typical real estate agent. I'm excited, I'm depressed. I'm excited, I'm depressed. I'm decided, I'm excited. They just do this right thing. You need to be a thermostat. Set that thing at 72 degrees and be predictable for your team and your clients and everyone to almost go, I got 5 in escrow, I got none in escrow, I got 3 in escrow, I got none in escrow, and this, get off that thing. It's no fun. But let's see, Gove team meeting. I just want to give you the right, in case you want to watch one. Gove team meeting. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. It's goveteammeeting.com. That's it. goveteammeeting.com. There shouldn't be any code to get in. Yes, there is. Password, sorry, G1234. G1234. But if you want to watch it. And so every single Thursday from 10 to 11, we're talking about interest rates. We're talking about how to get sellers to list and buyers to buy. And we're talking about loan programs, and we're talking about staging and what's happening with the market. Is it going up? Is it going down? What's happening with inventory? It's your classic sales meeting, but it's really important to pull your team together. And I do it with people now that we're on Zoom. We usually have about 30 plus in the room, sometimes 40 plus every Thursday. And then we have another 5, 10, 15 watching on Zoom, and you can check it out. And then we post it on YouTube. We get seen another 400 or 500 times, but that is really helpful to our agents. And then what I want to do before we get into some Q&A is this. Here are some things that will help you move forward. And I got to spend some time with Tony Robbins. I paid him over $1 million, and I have my notes from Mr. Tony Robbins. He's no doubt the foremost, person in the world for human development. And one of the things he says that people don't do is when's the last time you set goals for your children, for your husband, for your wife, for your family, for your health, for your wealth, for your business? It's always business, business, business. But you got to be well-rounded. Then you got to constantly redefine your goals. And so here's the deal. I'm watching you guys, and you're not taking notes, and you're going to completely a week from now, like, I love that guy, he was high energy, whatever, or that guy drove me crazy, he was high energy, whatever you say, it's okay. But take your phone out right now. So I'm probably the only speaker you'll hear to say, take your phone out, and then you go on your phone, go ahead, grab it. It's okay. I'm going to let you do it. I'm grabbing mine. And then I want you to grab this little thing right there, the little notepad next to my EXP. It won't be by yours, pictures, but I have notes. Click the notes tab and start taking notes. If you simply jot down a few things, oh, that was good. I'm like, it's not magic, it's motion. Like, I don't know, I have to have Parker's personality. I have to have, Christine is some guy with the Ireland t-shirt. It says you're Christine. I don't know your actual name. I'm sure you're not Christine. But anyways, the point is, I got to be like him. Look, he's got that cool hairdo. He's got a cool Ireland shirt. He looks good in his glasses. These are $10 readers. I look like a complete moron. I know, and I don't care. But here's the deal. I gotta be like Casey Smith. She's beautiful and smart. I'm not beautiful. She's tall and pretty. I'm short and fat. I'm this, I'm that. You know what? Be authentic. You want to sell, be real. People can read through it's the highest form of sales. It's authenticity. Quit reading the script. Talk with passion. Listen to me. They don't listen to the words. They listen to the music. Write that down. Write it down right now. Like, okay, what's the script? Hi.